Well, what's up, girl? You know, it's that time of the day. Tea with tea. Let me sip my tea. For those of you who are watching,
Is it hot tea? Is it sweet tea?
It's a hot tea. It's ginger and turmeric. Nice cleanser.
Okay. All right. So you're getting prepared for these changing of the seasons.
Hey, yes. Hey, thank you guys for listening to Tipping the Scales wherever you get your podcast. We just appreciate our tippers so much. We actually had some questions that came in for our tippers, and we love that because we want this to be a very interactive type of relationship where, you know, we talk to you, you talk to us. So thank you for making this a really engaging process. And we got a question that I thought would be appropriate for Tea with Tea today. So okay. The question, and shout out to Barb. Thanks, Barb. My son actually went to school with her son. So I love that you're a tipper. So shout out to Barb. Thanks for listening. Her question was, how do you deal with kind of embrace when you have an adult child that lives out of town? And like, how do you stay in touch with them and et cetera? And I thought this was great for Tea with Tea because I have an adult son that lives far away, very far away in Phoenix, just a 4.5 hour, 5 hour flight. So what I do is try to be very intentional about the time that we spend together. You know, and he plays a sport that I want to be involved in. I want to be able to see his games. So I try to make it my business to at least when he's in season, go there once a month. And I like, for example, I just got back yesterday.
Yeah.
And I went last Monday. So I was able to see 3 home games, which is awesome. They won all 3. Yay. Shout out to the Phoenix Suns.
Did, of course.
And Mikal had a really good game against the Pelicans. He had 27 points, which was really cool. Really cool. And, you know, I got to take 1 minute to just shout out my guy because my kid is so, you know, I just love his play. You know, I'm a student of the game. Like I love basketball. I love sports.
I'm a fan of his too.
And for me, just to see Mikal wants to do whatever it takes to win. He's not a stat stuffer. He's not someone who wants to bring a lot of attention to himself. And sometimes he gets underrated because of that. And, you know, that's just a whole nother story. But I think he brings a lot of value to his team and he hustles and he works hard on both ends of the court. I just respect his game. Like, not even of course, I'm his mama. So I got a different type of affection for him. However, as just a student of the game, I respect his game because he hustles.
He plays the right way.
Yeah, he plays the right way.
He really does. He brings energy. He sprints the floor. He's always in the right spot.
That defense be on. I don't even want to. I was, you know, like, if he was really like D'ing me up, I'm like, look, those arms, you need to back up. Like he's on you. Like,
he was D'ing you up.
Well, I try to forget that.
Keep shut your baby mouth. Out the streets.
Listen, you guys know I always tell you to go back and listen to our previous episodes. And if you haven't listened to the one with Mikal on, it's funny as hell. You'll hear the story about when he dunked on me, and I'll leave the rest up to you to go listen to it because it's really funny and embarrassing at the same time. And I was kind of legit mad at Shea. You'll figure out why when you listen to the episode. But anyway, yeah, he did. I try to forget about it. Shut your mouth, Shea. But he's like all over you, right?
I know.
But back to your question, Barb, is, you know, I be very intentional about our connections. You know, we talk every day. We FaceTime so I can see his face. I want to hear from him. And I like I said, I try to visit once a month and spend, you know, it's great because my company, we have one of our corporate offices in Arizona. So I can go into the office, I can visit some of our stores. I have this saying that you can't change culture behind a desk, meaning that you need to be very engaging and go out there and talk to your team members. I think that's important. And, you know, so we have a nice part of one of our larger markets just so happened to be in Arizona. Yay. But I also can work remotely too. So again, I try to get there at least once a month, spend a week, you know, and also do holidays together, you know, and sometimes that's tough because, you know, I'm torn. Like I want to be here with certain people and I got to go on the road.
Yep.
But like, for example, this year, like Thanksgiving, they're home for Thanksgiving. So I'm going to go, his dad, I think, his dad's coming with his side of the family and my parents are coming and we'll spend Thanksgiving together and cook and just really be very appreciative of family because that's important. And I like to make sure that I'm bringing that sense of being home to him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like for him to be alone on holidays. I remember when his first year in the league, they played Orlando on Christmas Day, and I went to Orlando, had like a nice Airbnb, and I cooked at the Airbnb, and he came over and he had Christmas dinner there. So, I just try to make sure that we're spending holidays together. That's important to me. And, calling him. And sometimes I get on his nerves. Like I'm an annoying, I will admit that I am definitely a helicopter mom. That's just who I am. I wear it proudly. I embrace that. But it's important for me to have those connections with him. Like, how do you, because you're not always home. Like, no. So how do you deal with I'm a parent, right? So it impacts me, but I wonder just from a child's you're not a child, but just from
I am a child to my
well, it's just somebody else's child.
I call my mom mommy. Like literally, I will always be her child.
But I think you're on the flip side of that, where you have a parent that you miss. Like I'm sure Mikal experience may be different, but speaking from your point of view, what do you do to try to stay in touch with your mom or even just your family when you live out of town?
Well, we text every day. I get a morning text and a good night text from my mom.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to say we need to stop texting and FaceTime each other. Mm-hmm. So when she does FaceTime me, sometimes I forget since we text every day. I'm like, oh, what's wrong? She's like, nothing's wrong. I'm like, oh. So then we talk. But she makes it a point to pick 3 holidays or 3 staple times in the year that she comes. So
just I was saying that. Yeah.
Yes. I always know I'm going to have my mom around Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. This year, I'm actually going to Jamaica for Thanksgiving, so I won't see her. Oh. But it'll be my birthday or her birthday. We know that one of those will get together. And usually during my birthday, my brother's in another country, so we like to spend together if we could. The summers are always ours, too, because my brother is usually playing overseas during the seasons, during the year.
Sure.
And so we always try to make sure we do that. And then I live in Atlanta, but my mom's been here so many times already and she's already planning to come more. So we just make it a point to say it's been too long. And I always welcome my mother with open arms. I miss her all the time, but we text all the time. We send messages. We share Instagram messages. She sends me a lot of Amazon finds or chronic illness finds, things like elevating your feet, on the wall. She communicates to me she's still taking care of me, but in the digital way, because she sends me videos that help me take care of myself. So we keep in touch on social media and we text every morning and night.
Very good.
And then I know that there's 3 times that my mom's going to come. She'll pick them or I'll pick them depending on the flow of our life. But yeah.
Good. I love that a lot.
Ooh, what you got going on over there? Your little eyes twitching.
I know.
I see you trying to focus on it.
I'm trying to hold back my tears. I'm just probably thinking about just that connection. And, it hits hard because, of course, Mikal's my only child. And it is tough not having him around. And for those of us who are of age and our children are adults and they don't live with us anymore, you do go through that kind of empty nest type of situation where you're an empty nester and, it does feel different in the house when your kids move on, if they go to college or they get older and they have places on their own. And, it's been years since that when Mikal first went off to college, I was devastated. It was just very, very hard for me. You remember, I was like, I don't have a life. I don't know what to do. Oh my God, help me.
And I was like, he needs to grow and you were not a part of that.
Let him live, mama. But I text him all the time too. I send him before every game, inspirational messages. It's just try to be intentional about all of our connections. I think that should help you, Barb. Make sure you're spending time. Make sure you, try to go out for holidays to see your children. You have more than one, so it's even harder to spread yourself out. But you
learn how they
yeah.
want to accept you too, and communicate the ways they like to be communicated with. I think that's helpful.
Find your best way. Yes, Shea, I love that. Find the best way that you guys love to communicate, whether it be FaceTime, text, phone call. For most of us in this day and age, our young adults love texting and FaceTiming is our jam. Like Mikal and I do that all the time, but you just gotta, you look.
And voice notes.
Voice notes are good.
I love to hear my mom's voice. I love to hold my phone and just like,
sending little special things, like I'll send like some of his
care
favorites.
Packages.
Yes, that's huge.
The unexpected care packages, not packages that I know are coming and like, go check the mail and it's going to be like mom's goodies in there. Like your favorite stuff. It's a big deal. And when I visit him, I make his favorite meals. Like, what's your favorite meal? Even though he has a chef and he doesn't need mama anymore, but I still try to do little small things to make them feel special. So thank you for putting your question in, Barb. For those of you who have a question for both Shea and I, we want to hear from you. How can they do that, Shea? Tell them how can they submit their question? You can DM us on Instagram at Tipping the Scales Podcast. We love to communicate there. Our personal pages, Tania Rivers.
Tania L. Rivers.
Tania L. Rivers.
Don't forget the L bill. Yes.
And mine is just LaShayla. Just LaShayla. Well, not just LaShayla, not J-U-S, but LaShayla.
Okay, if you're not confused, I am. But thank you guys for listening to Tipping the Scales, wherever you get your podcast. Appreciate you. Bye.